We all love tasty foods, but even when dieting, the most depraved and boring foods with the right seasoning can become just as appealing as that tub of Ben & Jerry's ice cream. So today we will cover exactly why your diet should be as bland as possible. The further you are into weight loss, the more bland your food should become. At the start of your diet, when you are beginning to lose weight and any little minor thing that you do shreds fat off your body, you don't have to go to these extremes. You can even still eat a little bit of junk food here and there and still lose the weight. I know this from personal experience because when I first started dieting, I didn't completely cut out everything. I started easy. I started just by cutting out some sugar from my coffee and then slowly cutting back more. But the point is, I didn't make my food bland. You can still have food that tastes amazing, but the steeper you get into your deficit, the more you're gonna have to pull back on this. At the start, you will be highly satiated by eating like well-seasoned chicken that's been cooked up in a bunch of oil, eating some rice, some vegetables. You can eat all of that and you'll be super stuffed. You won't want to overeat. But the further you get into your diet, you're gonna be looking at that chicken like, damn bro, I can eat like a whole pound of this. And same thing for rice. You'd be surprised how much rice you could eat when you're starving to death. You can eat pounds and pounds of rice. You could literally binge eat on rice when you're in steep enough of a deficit. If you're hungry enough, any food becomes extremely tasty. And also, to cut back on your diet, it's just easiest to cut back on junk food. And the further you cut back on junk food and sugar, the more you kind of resensitize your taste buds to start craving the more normal foods, and then your junk food cravings will get replaced by regular food cravings. Now, another reason why we should make our diets more bland is because the main reason people fail diets is due to psychological cravings. It's harder to tell your brain that you're done eating compared to your body. And overall, it's the mental aspect that causes overeating for most people. Like when you look at a fat person, are they really that much more hungrier than the average person? Probably not. Maybe a little bit. There could be some genetic variation to that, but for the most part, it's just a mental game. So the less tasty we can make our food, the less we're gonna psychologically want to eat it. You should still keep the same calories in your meal, but for the love of God, as you're getting steeper into your deficit, make the food less tasty. Season it a little bit less, add a little bit less oil, just cook it in a different way that you don't like it as much. This sounds wild, but unless you've been very lean, unless you've actually dieted a bunch of times like I have, you're gonna think this advice is crazy. You can't knock this advice because I know it sounds counterintuitive. I would think the exact same thing in your position, but you just have to believe me. Unless you've done more diets than me, unless you're in better shape than me, then by all means, you can do your own thing and just pick and choose what words you want to believe from me. But if you've never gotten very lean before, if you're not in amazing shape, then you're just gonna have to blindly follow me here. Now, one last thing we can talk about is don't make eating the highlight of your day. The further we get into our diets, the more we start to fantasize about food, obsess with the food, and after reaching a certain threshold of body fat, the only thing your body is gonna want to do is eat. All you can think about is eating. As soon as you wake up, you want to eat. Before going to sleep, you want to eat. In the middle of the night, you dream about eating. So try to add some other activities throughout your day. One really good thing for me was cardio. I used to bike at the exact time when I knew I would get my worst cravings, so that was a very nice way to offset it and also burn a little bit of calories. And for the most part, as long as you make your diet more bland in proportion to how steep you are in your deficit, you should lower the amount that your mind fixates on food. So this is kind of like a 2-for-1 deal. If you follow the other advice, then this one shouldn't be too difficult. If you want to jumpstart your progress, press the first link in the description. We have a free Skool group of like-minded individuals. It's free now. I'm soon gonna make this paid. There's a bunch of courses in there, a bunch of free information. It's amazing. Genuinely put in a lot of work there. But if I give you anything of value within this video, please consider subscribing and don't forget to stay savvy with your diet.